Good afternoon, everybody. Chris Allen here with your weather blast. For this Thursday, May 12th, another muggy day in south central Kentucky. Seeing a few more clouds, not that much in the way of shower activity, although somebody might pick up a shower this afternoon. Most of you will stay dry. We're just not quite ready for the showers just yet. That'll come tomorrow and probably part of Saturday, too. Now, you can go ahead and keep your outdoor plans. It's not going to be a total washout, but where it does rain, you could have a heavy downpour, some lightning, maybe even some hail, gusty winds. We're not calling for a severe weather outbreak, although, a couple of storms could be strong or just right under severe limits. That's a possibility, especially tomorrow afternoon. So we'll monitor it, though, and I'll show you the Storm Prediction Center outlooks here in just a minute. First of all, let's go with the surface map here and show you what's going on with the here and now as of 2 o'clock this afternoon. That big dome of high pressure that's been in control the last few days, still in control, but beginning to break down. That ridge, or that dome, is beginning to break down and move a little further east, and as a result, we're starting to see a little bit more in the way of widely scattered shower activity and some thunderstorms west of us. And we could see a few of those pop up even this afternoon with enough daytime heating and a little weak boundary that's moving through the air, a little ripple in the atmosphere that may help be the trigger with the heat and the humidity for a thunderstorm or two. Big storms down in Texas. You can check that out here on the U.S. View, satellite and radar together. Look at those monster storms in Texas. But these are not really tornado producers. They're more severe thunderstorms. Just a big complex of heavy rain, gusty winds, some hail, some wind damage down in the Houston, Galveston, Corpus Christi areas this afternoon. And then we'll see new development there in the plains on up the line there, probably up to Iowa, Nebraska, maybe Missouri, Arkansas, and those places as we get a little bit more daytime heating. Here is the water vapor imagery. We don't show this a lot, but I wanted to show you that big curl up there in the Rockies. That is the upper level low. That's the culprit for a lot of the energy that this storm is feeding off of. And it seems pretty tightly wound up, but it's really just throwing out a lot of energy, enough to set off some thunderstorm activity, and some of that's down in Texas is just the moisture being fed into that whole big complex there, and that big line just ahead of the cold front. Now, as we move on to the precipitation forecast, this is where we, of course, take a look and see how bad it's going to get for us. Flooding is still a concern, especially west of us in the Green River Basin, still some issues there. This QPF, or Quantitative Precipitation Forecast map, goes for the next 5 days, starting now and all the way through Tuesday. And between now and Tuesday, we could see up to about 2 inches of rain, according to this forecast. That's not all at once, so that's why I'm not real concerned of additional flooding problems, although there could be a few places where you could see some isolated higher amounts of rain. But I don't think it's going to be enough rain all at once to make the flooding matters worse. It's spread out enough over the next 5 days that I don't think it's going to be an issue. They'll leave it time for whatever rain falls could run off and really not cause any additional problems. Now, you're asking about severe weather, of course, and you rightly so. As we are all concerned about severe weather in the last few days and weeks. Severe weather threat's not going to be that great, as I mentioned at the beginning. Here is today's severe weather outlook from the Storm Prediction Center, and you see the yellow shaded slight risk area is far west of us: Iowa, Nebraska, Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and of course down in Texas where they're getting it now. Let's go to day 2. That would be tomorrow, Friday. And yeah, it does get closer to us. Includes western Kentucky, but not the Bowling Green, southern Kentucky area. Southern Illinois, southwest Indiana, Boot Hill, Missouri, down into Tennessee, much of Mississippi and Alabama. And I think if any place sees any rough weather, it could be those locations, but even that, we're not talking about a tornado outbreak. There could be a few isolated tornadoes down into, you don't need it in Mississippi or Alabama. They've had enough. Thank you. We're done. I hope. But they still could have that threat, at least for tomorrow. But at least it's a slight risk. We're not calling for a big widespread outbreak here of severe weather and tornadoes. And then day 3, that area moves way down southeast of us into places like Georgia, Alabama, and the Florida Panhandle. So by Saturday, this will be all gone as far as the threat of severe storms. Here's the extended forecast. The bigger story, I think, is going to be not only the chances of rain over the next few days, tomorrow being the best chance of rain and a long Saturday beside it, but the cool down, and a big cool down at that. Temperatures falling into the 70s, and there, as you see, even in the upper 60s. As we get into Sunday and Monday, and by Election Day on Tuesday, yeah, there's an election on Tuesday, if you haven't heard, primary election in Kentucky. On Tuesday should be fine, temperatures in the low 70s. Okay, there's your forecast for the next few days. Don't forget, this Saturday we'll be at the Kroger on Scottsville Road, the Greenwood Square in Bowling Green, 10 a.m. to noon, selling and programming weather radios. And with us will be the American Red Cross, collecting monetary donations for tornado and now flood victims. So join us this Saturday. You need a weather radio if you don't have one. If you have one, need it programmed, bring it, and we will program it for free. So you can get your groceries, get a weather radio, get it programmed, and make a donation to the Red Cross, disaster victims, all in one stop. Saturday, 10 a.m. to noon, Kroger, Scottsville Road. And then don't forget, tomorrow I'll be giving away one of those Midland portable weather alert radios right here. I'll announce the winner here on the Weather Blast, but I'll post it on my Facebook sometime around noon. And for those of you who've hit the like button on my Facebook page, you automatically qualify to win that portable handheld. And I have a secret. Shane is going to give one away next week, but don't tell him I told you that. Okay. All right, a fresh podcast that you can download from the iTunes store to your iPod or whatever MP3 player you have. The Chris Allen Weather Briefing. Just look for that in the iTunes store. It's free to download. I'll have a fresh podcast tomorrow morning at 4:30. Weather shouts from my phone and posted online anytime I feel the need. Plus my blog, chrisallenchallenge.wordpress.com. Anytime you need to check that out with all the maps and everything you see here. And, of course, AM Kentucky live at 5:30 on WBKO ABC 13.1 tomorrow morning for Finally Friday. Today is Little Friday, if you haven't heard. That's your weather blast for today. Remember, know the weather before it knows you. God bless.